think, right? Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream, and none of this will have ever happened. Right? Like it'll be like the first time, and then we're all gonna pull through fine in 4 years. I can tell you one thing right now, marriage is the farthest thing from on the table currently. So they screwed the pooch on that one if they thought that any of this was going to actually help with the whole family and kids department and lowering birth rates, because that, not even. Any semblance of thoughts I had or hope for that is completely going to be a no thanks for me, love. Do you think I would ever even dare bring a child into this country now?
Y'all want to violate my stuff? I don't give a f about none of that, because all the people that's violating my freaking life right now are Trump supporters. Y'all the only ones happy about this shit right now. Y'all the only ones. Y'all see I got my blue on. I done cried so much that my blue went up. And I have to wear red because this is my freaking job. If I didn't have to wear this stupid ass color, I wouldn't be wearing it. Trust and believe me. I'm sorry. No! Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
These Democratic leaders are simpletons. They're servants of the donor class. So they go in there, they're like, oh, donor, give me money, please. And I made an ad. I'm Kamala Harris. I'm full of joy. Okay, well, what did that get you? And they say, oh, Jake, you're too angry. Too angry? What? You think, does Donald Trump look like he's kind? Does he look like he's in a good mood? I mean, no, people want some sort of reaction from their politicians. They want them to represent them, to fight for them.
I'm surprised at the result, but I'm not surprised. As a woman of color, I was so hopeful that a mixed race woman married to a Jewish guy could be elected president of this country. And I think that it had nothing to do with policy. I think this was a referendum of cultural resentment in this country.
That man, if you voted for anybody other than Kamala and you live in one of the states that it was, close, or if you didn't vote, you.
I will be leaving the country and my dad will be staying blocked after this election. See you never.
You voted against me. You voted against my right to live. You voted against all the women and their rights.
Okay. All righty. Hold on a second. Okay. 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 Let me get a little sip here. That's good. Okay. Maybe, can I move this over here? Can I move that right there? Okay. Well, howdy there, pipe pals and gals. Old holy smoking pipe padre coming back at you on this day after the 2024 election. We're going to talk about it. But first, I have my, what is this? This is the, I need to clean these pipes. I got to find another place to clean them. This is my Dunhill Zodiac from 2012 or something, or maybe 2011. It's a little, it needs a bath, needs a clean up. Yeah, but she's a good girl. Got the legacy dot there. Delish. Now, I'm smoking some Sillums. Good old Sillums in the silly Sillums. Silly Sillum season, you know, kind of like this. Yeah, and got some coffee here, kind of in this black mood here, kind of. Black Rifle coffee. That's quite tasty. So, oh, wait for it. Okay, we're back. Maybe I can put the headphones underneath the old MAGA hat there, the old Make America Great hat. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. That looks a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. Looking good. Yeah. Okay. So we are going to talk about the aftermath of the 2024 presidential election. You know, and double Trump. Really love this pipe. It's really working out now. Man, it's great. Pipe's great again. Hey. Okay. So we're going to talk about double Trump. Why I call him double Trump. Well, President 45 and now 47. Yes, indeed. But also I call him double Trump because something a little bit more important, pipe gals and gals. Let me see if I can turn this down just a wee bit there. Okay, that's my microphone. Okay, that should work. Okay, the reason why I call him double Trump, let me try that again. Hopefully that's okay. Testing. All right, is that working out okay? Okay, well, hopefully it's not pitching too much or whatever. So, yeah, double Trump because he not only won the the electoral vote, which he did in 2016. I believe he also won it in 2020, but we'll talk about that a little bit later, pipe pals. But he also won the popular vote. That's a real biggie there, pipe pals. He won the popular vote as well. So make of that what you will. Boy, when a pipe comes together, I tell you, this is really good. Now, I got to be honest with you just a little bit here. My Sillum's black. It is Sillum's. It's from that tin can, but I rehydrated it because I think I've had this for a couple of years and it got a little toasty. But a little bit of not denatured alcohol. Distilled water, yeah. Usually does the trick. Brings it back. Makes it smokable again. So anyway, I wanted to talk about the election. By the way, did you guys like the old Halloween special? I had a lot of fun making that one. Employing some new software, new plugins, kind of making myself look more like I'm a star from the 1920s, 1930s silent film days. Had a lot of fun doing that one. Took me a couple of days, but I had fun doing it. Boy. So I want to talk about the election, if you don't mind. Those of you who are into politics, great. And those of you who don't like politics, I'll see you in the next video. Those that kind of are interested in politics and what I have to say about it, you're welcome to stick around. Okay. Sometimes I just, wow, that's just not good. I really enjoy this pipe right now. This is really doing great. So last election, things were tending towards President Trump in the 2020, and then all of a sudden they shut everything down. And then 8 hours later, magically, somehow, Joe Biden won. It's like, what? How did that happen? And I have to be honest, I really still feel that that election was I think they're proving it more and more. I think this election is even proving it. And I'll try to maybe explain that in a minute. Now, so yesterday evening, I was watching, I kind of watched the Daily Wire, the Ben Shapiro group, with Michael Knowles and Andrew Klavan and Jeremy Boring and Matt Walsh. So if you're familiar with those guys, you know who I'm talking about. And I have to say, they really, I don't know, maybe they need to, well, of course they were doing election coverage, so they did a great job. All I can say is everything was super accurate, and I was just really impressed with their reporting. It was like really, really accurate. So it, you know, again, I know some of you out there probably are Kamala fans. And I played the little snippet of all the people melting down. And, you know, I got to say, I'd be lying to say I don't love the liberal tears. I don't want to gloat too much, but, you know, after 2020, that whole debacle, you know, and trying to, you know, get that election certified legally, you know, it was just a real mess. We had COVID. Yeah, January 6th got off, it was just a whole can of worms. So last night, I kind of got a sense around maybe 10 o'clock, because all of a sudden Trump was leading, I think he was leading in 2020, and everything got shut down. You know, came to a screeching halt. It was like, what's going on with that? And then, lo and behold, this miracle of miracles happened the next day, and Joe Biden won by 200 million votes or something like that. Some crazy thing, 8 million votes or something, out of nowhere. And make of that what you will, but this year, the Supreme Court stepped in and told Pennsylvania, and I guess maybe another state or so, at least Pennsylvania, you cannot halt the election. You're not going to do that this year. And guess what? The election, you know, there was kind of a stagnant period there. Where was this kind of hanging in the air, and where's this going? And I was kind of getting, you know, concerned. I was thinking, well, this looks very, very suspicious, very similar to what happened in 2020. Are we going to have another replay of that? And then all of a sudden, it just boom, you know, Pennsylvania and I guess Wisconsin or Michigan or whatever, and all of a sudden, you know, he starts this, like the red wave shows up. Oh, and by the way, it wasn't just him winning the election. It looks like the Senate, the Republicans won the Senate, and it looks like it's very clear, almost a foregone conclusion that they're going to have control of the House of Representatives. So, you know, we have all three branches of government: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary. And I think that President Trump is going to do, I think, some really good and great things. Now, I know some of you may choose to disagree, but it wasn't, and it was right after Biden came in 2020 that the gas prices went skyrocketing, the inflation went skyrocketing, and I remember very clearly that even here in California, the gas prices were moderately less than what they are now. They're probably about half of what they were, you know, 4 years ago. And you know, I also remember, you know, I'm just a working guy. I'm not a Wall Street executive. You know, I don't have some corner office somewhere. I don't have I don't run a business. And I'm just like everybody else. I get my paycheck just like everybody else that works. And I just remember that I got 1/3 taken away when the Biden people came in. So the gas prices went up, the grocery prices went up, the inflation went up, and my take-home pay went down by about 1/3. I mean, I'm still able to live fairly comfortably. Obviously, I'm not struggling, but at the same time, and again, I'm not a greedy person. Again, a lot of times, what little extra money I have, believe it or not, it goes to other people. There are people who come to the door, and because I might have an extra couple of $100, I can help somebody. Now the church does have a little bit of a kind of a rainy day. Sometimes they do. I mean, I have to, again, we don't keep money here. So, and plus we don't have that much money to keep. It wouldn't even be worth a person to even try to rob us, I guess. You'd have to be pretty stupid to do that. So, but at the same time, people are needy, and sometimes people need gas, they need a place to stay, they need food, they need all the above, and so if I have a little bit extra, then I can give, I can help people. So that's basically the way I saw it, is like, well, now I'm going to be a little bit more strapped to try to help people, or I won't be able to help them as much as I would like to because I don't have the extra to give, so there you go. So anyway, but I wanted to kind of address some of the concerns of the not YouTubers, TikTokers. I guess they're TikTokers, and they're just melting down. And apparently, I want to say this, and some of you aren't going to like this, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think that this 2024 election was a total repudiation on woke and DEI ideologies. I'm not going to be a bit sad to see Richard Levine go bye-bye, and some other people who are very confused. Okay, I'm not going to be at all surprised. I'm not going to be sad to see them go away. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. I just think that those people have serious mental issues, and they need help. They don't need to be running parts of the government. Okay, they just need to go away. So I think that, and I'm not the only one who says this, and I'm not aping anybody else. These were things that I came up with last night as I was kind of drifting off to sleep, going, this was a real, well, it might sound a bit of a crass to say, big middle finger to all of the woke and DEI type ideologies. Just like, hey, America doesn't want that. America doesn't really, like a lot of people were trying to make it about abortion. A lot of people were trying to make it about the alphabet mafia. Okay, a lot of people were trying to make it about the illegal immigrants or the illegal aliens. Okay, so those three biggies were kind of like the ones they were kept trying to say, well, Trump's gonna, he's basically gonna come against these things. Well, yeah. Look, folks, legalized murder is just not a good thing. Okay. Maybe you've heard me say in my more satirical mood, well, when are men going to get the legal right to murder another person that they deem as unwanted and an inconvenience? Just saying. Okay, because abortion is murder. It's murdering. It's taking another human life. It's not health care. I'm sorry, it doesn't sound very healthy ripping up a beautiful baby in the womb. How's that healthy for the baby? It's just not. It is just legalized murder. That's plain and simple, and it needs to stop. Okay. Now Trump says he won't seek a national ban on abortion. Again, now some people go, oh, but what about if I had a medical emergency and I had, ectopic pregnancies and other things that, again, for the life of the mother. Those things, even the Catholic Church will say that is permissible. Okay. Now, these young ladies that are all, well, I need my abortions, and some of these little gals are, well, no more sex for you boys. I'm not going to have any more sex with you. Well, some of those ladies is like, yeah, you're doing us a favor. But the thing is that pregnancy is not an epidemic. Okay, it's not an epidemic. Okay, you still have bodily autonomy. You decide how and when you're going to spread your legs and who you're going to do it with. And that's why maybe we need to get back to some good old-fashioned values of marriage, okay? Have a real family, not one night stands and body counts, okay? That's not what it's designed for. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for some of these young gals that are screaming and, you're taking away my autonomy. No, you still have complete autonomy, Had to take a break there. No, young ladies have complete autonomy. In fact, there was, in the old days, they used to say no most of the time because they weren't married. Maybe they need to think about that again, just say no, until you get married. Okay, that's good. And then there's one young man or a guy, I don't know if he's young, he looks younger than I am, and he's probably maybe in his late 30s or maybe 40s or something, you're going to kill me. I think I know what he's talking about. He's, alphabet mafia type guy. Sorry, the people that are screaming the most are the radical, hateful, murder-loving, abortion-loving feminists, the pervert alphabet mafia types, the entitlement types, people who basically depend upon the government from hand to mouth, and again, mostly the illegals, the illegal aliens that are coming here. And it's time. So another thing that this election is it's a restore, hopefully, to law and order, okay? Because we've been living in a lot of anarchy and lawlessness, and that's just not good for a society, okay? So I'm happy to see, return to the rule of law in this country, okay? It's about time. Because when we have the rules and we follow the rules the best we can, it makes society better for everybody, not just a few. The people that are screaming the loudest, again, the people that love abortion, the people that love perversion, the people that love illegal immigration, it's all about them. It's like, well, what did President Kennedy say? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Are you investing in this country, okay? And so to talk about murdering a child and, celebrating your perversions and all that kind of stuff, or coming here illegally, first of all, no one's going to put you in any concentration camps, and nobody's going to, abuse you in any way. But here's the thing. The people that I've been talking about, they want to nationalize. They want to force this to become the norm on all of society. And our societies are pretty permissive. Let's be honest. Society is, in general, very permissive. For example, I've struggled with alcohol for most of my adult life. And thanks be to God, I've got 12 years sobriety. And I'm so grateful that I wake up every day sober. I wake up without being hungover, okay? Now, do I hate people and demand that people that, are not like me, well, you need to not drink anymore. And if you're going to be my friend, you better not be drinking, or because I find out you're drinking, I'm not going to be your friend. I'm going to make sure that we take away, people like you, we're going to marginalize. No, people are free to drink. I choose not to. Okay. But if you choose to do that, that's on you, and you can enjoy the health complications that will probably occur later in life. Like I'm even finding out, even though I don't drink now, I'm probably finding that because I've compromised my health over the years from drinking, I'm going to pay a price eventually, okay? But that's on me. It's not anybody else, okay? If people want to do recreational marijuana, hey, you do you. But again, these are things that don't make you any better, and they don't make society any better, because if you're not trying to be the best version of yourself, okay, you can go in some little corner in some little basement and do your thing, but at the end of the day, that's not a really productive, that's not a qualitative, meaningful life, okay? And if you're just, pursuing perversions, you're coming here illegally and taking resources from people that are real citizens, and you're just standing in a welfare line, I'm sorry, but that's wrong. That's just wrong. Okay. And that's why I kind of think that it's a victory. It's a victory not just for Donald Trump, but I think it's a victory for, the rank and file American citizen. Most people, they don't care what people do in the privacy of their bedrooms or their homes. Okay, as long as you're not hurting children, you're not hurting another person. I would even say, though, you shouldn't be hurting yourself. If you're abusing yourself in any way, you need to look at that. You need to be honest about it. Okay. So, but let's see, is that light still working? Yeah. Okay. Got the light over here, my little studio light. I got a little ring light over there. I have the other big Amaran light, but I just didn't bring it out. I'm just too lazy. Yeah. So anyway, but those are the people that seem to be the most upset. And part of me feels like, well, you need to kind of maybe become a little more rational and realistic. Why are you so upset? Again, if you're living such a promiscuous, libertine kind of a life, then I could see that maybe you might cramp your style a little bit. But for the most part, you haven't lost a thing. You haven't lost a single thing. And no one's going to come and, put you in a concentration camp or a gulag. Now, I got to be honest, the opposite would have been true. Kamala Harris has made it very clear that she not only doesn't really care for Christians, she really hates Catholics. And if she had a mandate, like Donald Trump has a mandate now, if she had a mandate with the Senate and the House, she would probably say that, you need to either accept the political narrative as it is, because if you oppose it or deviate from it or question it, you're going to go to jail under a hate crime law. And that's happening. It's happening in Canada right now, and other parts of Europe, I think. So your speech, you have an opinion. I know I say that a lot, I'm a broken record here, but, again, opinions, don't constitute discrimination. You may not like what I say. I may not like what you say. I may not like what you think or believe, but as long as you're not hurting other people, you're not endangering anybody's lives. They say, well, the test of free speech is you can't say there's fire in a theater. Except one thing. If there's true fire in the theater, you're supposed to say fire. And everybody just assumes that, well, there's limits on free speech. Now, if I'm making threats to you as an individual, I'm coming after you, say, I'm going to come and get you. I'm going to find out where you live, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to, burn a pipe on your front lawn, oh, that's scary. Something like that, I'm going to do you bodily harm, or I'm going to hurt your livelihood, or I'm going to try to hurt your reputation, and that's a little bit different. Putting people in danger and things like that, then we have laws against that, okay? But the people that were running, wanted to say one thing. This is something that I want you guys to think about this one, because I think I'm right. That's good. I think something happened 2 years ago, and many of you will readily recall it when I say it. Dylan Mulvaney. Yeah. Dylan Mulvaney, I believe, was the canary in the coal mine. Think about it. Dylan Mulvaney was trying to force his political, ideological trends, ideology on everybody, okay? Now, at first it was kind of, most people were wondering, is this guy a troll? Is he just making it up? But it turned out that he really was trying to promote that ideology. And basically, he got only so far. And I think if he had just kept it as kind of a shtick, just a little bit of the YouTube thing, people, like a lot of people could go watch his stuff and have a good laugh at his expense if he wanted or not, whatever. The bulge and all that stuff that he did, and days of girlhood and all that crap. But when he started kind of making it more political, especially with the Bud Light thing, look what happened. Look what happened. Okay, that should have told us right then and there that the rank and file, if you will, the normal people, just live their daily lives, buying their groceries, paying their doctor bills, and going to work, and taking their kids to school, and soccer practice, and baseball practice, and all that. They were like, enough's enough. No, I'm not going to support this. I am just not going to support it. And look at all the boycott of Bud Light. Bud Light lost billions of dollars. And it seemed like they didn't care. But that Dylan was the coal mine, the canary in the coal mine. He was telling people should have said, people aren't buying this, especially when you try to force it down their throats, shove it in their face. Again, listen. If you learn anything from what I'm trying to say, just live your life. If you're one of these people that feel you have to have abortion, or you have to have perversion, or you have to, be an illegal person here, well, don't flaunt it. Don't try to make it normative, okay? Again, just live your life, and most people don't care, okay? But when you try to make it a political ideology, and you try to change the culture of a country to make your life normative, look at the pejorative terms that they use. Cis white man. That's a pejorative term. I'm not a cis white man. I'm just a man. I happen to be Caucasian, but I'm not a cis white man. What the hell does that even mean? I take offense at that, to be honest. I'm just a man. I'm just a person. I'm just a guy living my life. Happen to be a padre, Holy smoking pipe padre of that, okay, there you go. And so, we'll do a little Tampa here. A little Tampa, okay. So I think when I was thinking about that this morning, I said, that Dylan Mulvaney, he was the canary in the coal mine. Because people basically flat out rejected that message. It's like, hey, you know what? You do you, but don't be trying to push it down my face, okay? Don't go there. And he got rejected. And the agenda thing got rejected. It's like, hey, don't bring that here. So it's interesting to see how the election played out last night. Now, I got to say that after last night, it is definitely going to open some doors to some big questions, because what happened in 2020 didn't happen last night. And what happened in 2020? They shut everything down around midnight in Pennsylvania and some of those other East Coast states. And Trump was leading. And then you wake up the next morning and then miraculously Joe Biden won? How does that work? I mean, if it was a razor thin margin and you had it maybe by a few thousand votes, okay, that's a little more credible. But all of a sudden, what was it? 8 million votes? All of a sudden he has 8 million votes overnight? Wow! So I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to say this, and other people are saying it, that Donald Trump definitely has a mandate, whether you like to hear that or not. That might make you a little uncomfortable. Again, I'm not trying to scare people, but let's face it, this is a man who was attacked by the legal system, unjustly I might add, and he was actually physically assassinated attempts on him, okay? That was the thing I remember when he got shot the first time, and he came up, and I mean, Donald Trump's Donald Trump. I mean, he's an interesting character. I will say that. And over the years, and he's got his opinions, and he's been quite an interesting character. But the rage that he showed, and that when he got up, that fierce anger, and by golly, he had every right to be. I don't know about you, but have you ever had somebody walk up and hit you in the face, or you hit your head without, our heads are very sensitive things. And you just bang your head on a door or a cupboard, man, you get mad. you can be feeling like, oh, and he was very angry, and he had a right to be. I mean, try getting shot in the face or even the ear, that's got to be a harrowing experience one way or another, whether you like the man or not, And but he got up, and he was filled with a lot of anger. And I'm just going to say that the people that have tried to unjustly take him down, those people are going to have a day of reckoning. I'm not saying that he's going to, throw them in prison, or he's going to try to have them, bumped off. I mean, nothing like that. But there may be some lawsuits. There are going to be some repercussions. And a few of the people said, well, that sounds a bit harsh. And one guy says, well, sometimes you have to punish wrongdoing. And so the people that have been lawless and people who have been kind of hiding in the shadows, they probably need to be a little bit nervous. I'm not saying that we're not my party, and my political affiliation is not seeking to, imprison people or put people in concentration camps. I got to say that I woke up this morning feeling pretty good that I wasn't going to go to a gulag this year. Being a padre and being a Catholic and being a white cis man, they probably deem me as a, domestic terrorist, and I probably need to be locked up with some in re-education camp, right? I mean, you laugh, but that's what they basically did to Jordan Peterson. They said, hey, if you want to keep your psychiatry license, you got to go through this re-education program. And I don't know where that's at right now. I haven't been following that story very closely, but apparently, there's talk on the table, and then it's kind of a joke right now. So, how are you going to re-educate, Jordan Peterson? I mean, who would consider themselves able to do something like that, let alone not just him, but anybody? I'm going to re-educate you so you think right. And I think that kind of leads me to my last couple points is, there's the narrative. I've been listening to all these commentators that are melting down on the left, and let's see. They're saying, it's all based on misogyny that she didn't win. It's based on racism because she didn't win. Look, folks, all you had to do is listen to the woman talk. That's all I got to say. I mean, she was an idiot. I mean, she just really was raised to the level of her incompetence. And, it was a real short walk on a real short pier for her to come to that incompetence. I mean, she was probably there years ago, but people kept overlooking it, and again, she really represented a DEI hire, instead of basing it upon religion and, the gender between your legs, why not talk about, your qualifications for the job? Let's see if you manifest, qualifications of leadership that especially you need as a president. And I think a lot of people were completely amazed when Donald Trump stood back up. I mean, he could have been whisked off to a hospital. Nobody would have given a second thought. Hey, the guy just got shot. And they would have just carried him away. When Pope John Paul II was shot or Ronald Reagan was shot, they they quickly took him to the hospital. And of course, obviously those gunshot wounds were more serious. But still, in the middle moment of shock, you don't know the extent of the injuries, let alone how much time they have. Maybe it had clipped part of his head. That was an amazing shot. Thanks be the guy missed, but it could have been much more lethal, or at least more damaging. So anyway, but he got up, and he was filled with some righteous indignation. I'll say that. The old, what was the Japanese saying at Pearl Harbor? We've awakened a sleeping giant and filled him with great resolve. Just saying, just stand by to stand by. And again, not trying to sound like I'm not trying to be threatening. I'm just saying that, people that have been, saying that he's Hitler and people like me are garbage and Nazis, you got to stop. You just got to stop. Okay? Real fascism basically seeks, again, to set a narrative, and if you deviate from the narrative, then you will have hell to pay. That's what Nazism is, fascism. No one's implementing fascism. Now, again, as far as the political thing goes and how he deals with his political adversaries, well, that remains to be seen. But the rank and file people that voted for President Trump, he's still president. He was president before, and now he's president again. So, we were basically voting for a return to law and order. And I think a lot of us are happy about that. We're hoping to see that the crisis at the border is fixed. Again, I'm not. Again, it's not about something. Well, you hate Mexicans. No, in fact, a lot of the people that have come over here are not Mexicans. They're from different countries. They're from Iran. They're from Iraq. They're from Kazakhstan, they're from Russia, they're from, everybody has showed up at that border they've come across because they can. It's not just Latin American people, not just Mexicans, but Chinese, they're saying, even Chinese. And some of these people will, unfortunately, we probably will see, maybe someday we'll wake up to some horrible catastrophe because we've allowed people to get in here nefariously, and they've been kind of doing their thing, and eventually we'll probably pay a nasty price for that, just like 9/11. But I wish I could help people to not try to force their agenda on everybody else. Okay, let's try to be basic Americans and not try to, destroy this country. We've taught kids that we have a horrible country. It needs to be overthrown and destroyed. We need to just scrap it all, burn it all down, and start over. Well, good luck. Good luck with that. Usually, if you look at the revolutions, like the French Revolution and the Bolshevik revolution, those were ugly periods in history. And they basically those revolutions were predicated on millions of dead bodies. I just don't think revolution's a good thing. I really don't. And again, a lot of these people are just angry. They're dissatisfied. But why? Why are you dissatisfied? What is it that you're angry about something that really probably doesn't even pertain to you? Like some of these ladies about their free right to abortion. Hate to say it, but a third of them, they don't need to worry about abortion because no guy in their right mind's ever going to impregnate them. They're going to run away from people like that, especially these ugly red feminists. They're the last person that needs to worry about unwanted pregnancy and abortion. Good grief. Come on, get real. Get real. It's like somebody bringing a paternity suit against me. I don't think that's going to happen. It's a joke. That's what it is. It's just a joke. And if you take it seriously, then you're an idiot. Okay? And as far as people that are enslaved to perverted lifestyles, there's help. You can get help. You don't have to live like that. But a lot of people have been told that, oh, I have a right to this lifestyle, and now these people are going to kill me. No one's going to kill you. No one's going door to door to, see who you sleep with. It's ridiculous. Okay, I think you're overstating your case. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Have there been people that have been a little light in the loafers who've been maybe picked on in school and maybe even beat up in a bar? Sure. In fact, I think a lot of the people that get beat up in gay bars or other gays have beaten them up now. Could be wrong about that, but I don't think so. Just guessing. I mean, yeah. It's just like any other straight bar, you start messing with the wrong person and then somebody's going to take offense and they're going to clock you, hey, that's my girl or that's my date, But anyway, I'll be honest, very, very excited and happy. Today's a great, if today I kind of said, I don't know if I said it actually explicitly at Mass, because I try not to be political, but I just said, well, today's a great day, for a lot of us. And, it's a new day for America, a new day in America, I think. And again, if we have a return to true law and order, that's good for everybody, It's not a bad thing. I mean, okay, whatever your political, philosophical, ideological leanings are, to know that you live in a safe country, a safe community, whatever your skin color is, whatever your gender is, however you identify, at the bottom line is you can walk the streets safely and no one's going to harass you, no one's going to attack you. For the most part, I think that's true. Now, here I am wearing this Trump hat. Now, somebody asked me, a parishioner, in fact, they said, I think I'm going to wear my Trump hat when I walk my dog. Do you think that's a good idea? And I said, well, it kind of depends on what neighborhood you live in. I probably wouldn't wear it now. I mean, I used to just to get a rise out of people, but it's a little bit, there's been people who have worn hats like this that say this on it. And they've been accosted, they've been hit, they've been sucker punched, they've been pushed, they've been told to get out of the store, or we're not serving your kind, that kind of stuff, okay? Isn't that interesting? So, just like I have a right to wear this hat, and you may not like it, but you don't have a right to assault me, and now you can tell me you disagree. You could say, I disagree with that. Okay, fair enough. But the moment you try to take the hat or you try to hit me or you try to push me and beat me down, you've crossed the line. Your rights end at the threshold of my rights. So, something to think about. But, I think I got a few more minutes here maybe. Anyway, so I was, a little tired right now, a little punchy. I went to bed about 11:30 after President Trump made his victory speech, but I couldn't help but wonder, well, what are the other people? What's the opposition saying? And a lot of those people went home. A lot of those people turned off their mics and turned off the cameras. They were done. They were like, I ain't talking about this no more. So they went home. And I knew, two things I knew that Trump, even though the electoral counter had kind of stalled for about an hour or two, and it wasn't moving anywhere. Two things kind of gave me a little bit of I'll say hope, but kind of indicated to me that maybe Trump was actually going to pull it off and win. First one was when Kamala basically said, maybe this is East Coast stuff, so they were probably closer to midnight. I was around 9:00 here, obviously. So, but when she told everybody to go home and she wasn't going to be talking to reporters anymore, I kind of went, what does this remind you of? Hillary Clinton, 2016. She did the exact same thing. The other thing was that they started showing the two different camps. They showed the Trump camp, and people were joyful and happy and smiling and dancing and, and drinking and, all that stuff. They were celebrating. And the Kamala group, I could see that, man, their faces were so dour, and some of them looked like they actually had already been crying. And it's like, wow. And then the other telltale sign was this. that they were saying that they were boarding up windows and putting out barricades in Washington, D.C. And that was my final little clue that Trump was probably going to win. Because when the right loses, they don't go out in the street and burn down their cities. They don't go out and break Starbucks windows. They don't go over and burn cars and tires and throw rocks and bricks, at people. We don't like losing. Nobody does. But we find other ways of creatively dealing with it, and ways that are respectable and legal, moral. But we don't go into the cities and burn them down like other groups. So when they said they were boarding up Washington, D.C. and barricading it, they said, aha. Well, the only group that's going to do that will be the left group, because that's what they always do. When they lose, they have a big meltdown temper tantrum, and they have to go out in the streets and do their violence. So that was my last little clue that, hey, I think Trump is going to win this thing. And then the other thing was that when the Supreme Court told those people that were counting in Pennsylvania, yeah, I think we're going to shut everything down and pick it back up tomorrow. No, you're not doing that. I think that checkmated them, because that's how they won last time. And I'll say it. And I think that's going to come out. That might be another thing that a lot of people are probably nervous about. It's like, wait a minute. They kind of figured out how we did it, and now they got some receipts, and they're going to bring those receipts, and there's going to be a reckoning. Yeah. Sure hope so. But anyway, so I know some of you are probably just boiling mad, Hey, just hey, if you want to vent your spleen, go ahead, do it respectfully. I mean, be rational. If I've missed something, let me know. But I think I'm pretty right on the money here. So again, I thank you for taking the time to listen to the old Padre there and ramble on about the election. I just thought I really wanted to get on here and just really, kind of share from the heart, a little fireside chat about this. I think it's a great day in America. I really do. And I hope you do too. I hope that you'll, give it some thought. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I was not always a conservative person. I was, I wasn't, somebody who was like a radical in college. I mean, again, I was just trying to live my life, day after day, just trying to make it through a day, getting through my classes, fixing my broken old Pinot station wagon when it would fall apart, and I had some, I had, just basic college relationships that I had to, some were good, some weren't so good. I had challenges, we all had challenges. I mean, just, I really wasn't an idealist, And one time I was in college and I was going through some philosophy class, and I just kind of thought, if you don't have any beliefs, then you can never be accused of a hypocrite, because you're not going to violate any beliefs. And then slowly but surely I found the Catholic faith and I became a Catholic. But there was a small period of my life where I just was just trying to exist. I was just trying to get through college. In fact, my worst nightmare, even I still have them to this day. I mean, haven't had one in maybe about a year, but my worst nightmare is that I'm going for finals. And I realized that I hadn't cracked a book and studied, and I hadn't done anything to prepare for this final exam, and I was going to fail. And I was going to fail, and I was going to lose my GI Bill, and I wasn't going to get my degree, and I was never going to be able to get a job. And I always would wake up in a cold sweat, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to fail this exam. I'm going to fail this final test, And then I wake up and go, wait a minute. Is there a test today? No, there's no test today because I'm out of college. I'm not in college anymore. And I talked to some people, and they said that they had the same nightmare, but they were all college people. And I thought, isn't that interesting? I'm talking to this one law student guy, He said, I used to have the same dream. And I said, you too? I said, I thought I was the only one. I thought, because to me, it was like a nightmare. It was like just pure fear, Anyway, so again, and maybe that's the thing that might help some of you out there that are not happy right now about this election. You're fearful. Don't be fearful. There's no reason to be. Really, There's nothing that has changed, and to some extent, nothing's going to change in these regards. You know, if you're sad to say, if you're a young woman and you're sleeping around, you get knocked up and you want to get an abortion, God have mercy on your soul, but you'll probably still be able to do it. You're living a perverted lifestyle and that kind of life, you know, no one's going to come and knock on your door and drag you away to some, you know, re-education camp. That's not going to happen. Even if you're an illegal, you know, even if you are an illegal who voted illegally, you probably won't get in any trouble. Now again, you might have to have, there might be some accountability on some of these things. If you're a person who's grooming young kids, you know, you're in a perverted lifestyle and you're grooming young kids, yeah, you need to be a little nervous about that. If you're an illegal person selling drugs, you probably need to be a little nervous about that more today. And if you're somebody who's, you know, trying to get an abortion and, you know, you can still do it, but, you know, it's like, well, maybe some people are going to now kind of question you. They're actually talking about maybe having some, you know, before you get the procedure, they want to show you, you know, give you the medical information so you can make an informed choice and show you how brutal this procedure is going to be for that baby in your womb. And they're saying, yeah, but if you show the girl that, they're not going to have the abortion. And I said, well, there might be a few that still are cold-hearted enough to say, screw it, I'm killing the kid. But most of them are going to go, what? That's what it does? Yeah, that's what it does. It's ugly. It's hideous. It's grotesque. It's evil. Stop it. Close your legs next time, lady, you know. You still have autonomy. You can still say no. Anyway, I know I probably ran on a little bit too long on this one, but thanks for taking the time to watch, and we'll see you on the next one. So until then, light up your world and light up your pipe. We'll see you.